You find yourself in relationships, whether it is platonic or a romantic relationship, and you just find that you feel disconnected and you often feel like you want to remain to yourself and not really open up. Sometimes people describe you as being guarded. More than likely, you would be described as having an avoidant attachment style, or a dismissive avoidant attachment style. Hi, you guys. I'm Deidre, here to provide you helpful tips, tools, and therapy resources. We are here in part 2 to discuss another attachment style. In part 1, we talked about the anxious attachment style, and today we want to plunge into the avoidant or the dismissive attachment style. It is very common for those who have this attachment style to have had a parenting situation or an upbringing that was very strict, where emotions were encouraged to be repressed and you were not given maybe the opportunity to cry or express yourself or to be vulnerable and transparent. You were taught that you need to be tough, you need to be strong, you need to keep your feelings inside. And so now you've grown with this idea that feelings are not to be expressed, that you are not supposed to say what is on your mind. You're supposed to just take a licking and keep on ticking. You're supposed to just keep pushing through life, and with that grit and with that, with that sense of, life is better done by yourself. And so here you are as an adult. You want to maintain and have intimate and close relationships, but you find that many of your friendships, many of your relationships are just surface level. They're not deep. You're not talking about anything significant. You're not really sharing on a deep level. And so it can bring a lot of frustration. It can bring a lot of distance in your relationship. And oftentimes it actually creates relationships that just don't last because people long for intimacy. They want to be close, and they want to feel like they're not just the one pouring out their hearts and, delving into the deep. They want to know, like, man, can you share as well? Can you be vulnerable? And so sometimes that actually does present real meaningful challenges. You end up feeling very alone, and the cycle continues, and you end up having reinforced the idea, I should not be open, I should not be vulnerable, not realizing that it's actually a cycle. You find yourself not vulnerable, transparent, open, you find yourself guarded, and then the other person feels like they need to close up and be a little bit more guarded as well, because it's just like, should I trust you in this situation if you're so closed? And the beautiful thing is that just like the other attachment style of anxiety, you can also, by God's grace and with therapy, work your way through that attachment style of feeling avoidant and distant. A lot of times in adult relationships, when you start working through this, you start to become a bit more aware and self-reflective that you're shutting down, that you're closing up, that you're being guarded. And you can actually start to explore, understand, and be able to communicate your needs. That is the beautiful thing. You have emotional needs, but because you've not been used to having them and expressing them and them being supported and responded to in meaningful ways, you have a difficult time. But you can work through that, and you can with your therapist, formulate ideas and ways on how you can become more comfortable and be okay with not only receiving intimacy, but also knowing that your emotions are important, that your feelings are important, that they're safe, and that you are not in irritation, neither are your feelings in irritation to others, but you are in a position now where you can advocate for having your emotional needs met. Keep growing, you guys. And as you keep growing, give yourself some grace. See you next time.